Hey folks, happy Saturday morning rant. This morning I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about somebody who said, hey, I found your Facebook page. Can I ask you a question? And then when everybody's like, can I ask you a sensitive question? I kind of know what they're about to ask about. Like, I know it. Like, it is what it is. But I know what they're going to ask about. So she was like, what drives you? But again, I know what she's really asking. The question is just, am I going to tell the truth? I was like, I'm driven by hypocrisy. She was like, yeah, because, I pick up on the anger in your rants and in your postings. And, that's supposed to be, in this world, a criticism. Like, you shouldn't be angry all the time. It's not good to be angry, blah, blah, blah. Except the problem with that is that in this world, there's plenty of good reason to be fucking angry. And, like, being black in America is a good reason to be angry, first of all. But there's lots of other really good fucking reasons to be angry. So I never let people shame me out of, like, the fact that I'm angry about some shit and that I approach a lot of what I do from anger. People tell me you can't build anything on top of anger. That's just not true. Like, there's a righteous anger that allows me, I'll talk for myself, to move through the world very productively, extremely productively, sometimes too goddamn productively, to the point where people who are less productive are like begging me to slow down and to chill out and to put less energy into what I do. But I'm gonna be who I am. That's the other thing I've learned, that if you try to be who somebody else wants you to be, there's little return on that fucking investment. So you might as well be who you are. But anyway, she was like, no judgment, I just want to hear. And I was like, okay, so yeah, I come at things from this righteous anger and this, disappointment in the hypocrisy of most human beings. And then she finally sent this whole spiel about how I should turn anger into love and how much the world will open up for me. Get the fuck out of here. Like, have you tried being a black man, not only in this world, but in the nonprofit space, in the social justice space? Like, this shit is a blunt fucking instrument. Like, you will get killed out here trying to come from a place of love. Like, first of all, who the fuck gives you the privilege and the space to do this important work, quote unquote, from a place of love? Like, there's people suffering. Like, you got no time. That's why we always at these stupid fucking retreats and all of these fucking things where people get together and they smile in each other's face and they talk about how much they care about each other and how much they're there for repair and yoga and fucking acupuncture and all this shit. But then when they leave, they're like, yo, I hate that bitch. Or I hate that dude. I don't like working with that motherfucker. Or I wish the foundation didn't waste my time doing this. I just wish y'all would be more fucking honest with each other. You honest with me, be honest with each other. And I know, I've been there. Like, some people be like, no, Glenn, it's not like that. I'm like, what fuck you mean? Like, I did it for 17 years, and now I have a bunch of clients that are in that space. And, when they ask me, like, should I go to this? The first thing I say to them is there somebody in that room that you want to meet? Because if there's not, like, why waste a week out of your life when there's people suffering? You doing work to help people who are homeless, and you're going to take a week out to go, like, hang out in a place where you don't want to be? I mean, if you want to be there, that's one thing. I'm good with that. But if you don't want to be there, like, say you don't want to be there. I had a client who went in front of a room the other day and told every funder in the room that he was so fucking tired of having to kiss their ass to get a little bit of money. And that he was like, I don't even need y'all fucking money. I was so proud of him. At first, some people try to, like, sort of blacklist him from saying that. But, like, one or two funders is like, yo, I appreciate you being honest with me. And that's the thing about life. When you tell the truth, like, you may lose a lot of people, but those ain't your people anyway. And you're going to always find one or two people who are going to love you for being honest. Even people with resources, they just going to fucking love you. So I'd rather have two motherfuckers with a shitload of money love me for being honest and give me money than 10 motherfuckers where I'm faking it, acting like I like them, and kissing ass for years. Because in the end, that shit gonna come to an end, and you're gonna regret it. That's the other thing. I had a dude this week call me. He was like, yo, I went in front of this funder here in New York, and he was like, yo, she talked to me like shit. She devalued what the fuck I was doing. She threatened to take away my money. And he was like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I was so fucking angry. I just wanted to tell her how I felt about her talking to me that way. And I was like, what'd you do? He's like, nothing. I just put on my tap dancing shoes and danced like a clown so I could keep that money. And I was like, yo, I get it, bro. I get it. Like, I appreciate your honesty. And I did it for years, like just making these funders feel good about themselves. And the shit don't pay. That the thing is, like, eventually you get old, eventually you go into a different season of your life and a different season of your career, and then you ask yourself, like, yo, do I feel good about myself for doing that? Because the truth is, we could change philanthropy if we all decide together not to tap dance. Except it's got to be all of us together, because the one person who tries to do it gets canceled, gets blacklisted, gets kicked out, gets set up, you know, and suddenly that person, and once you get kicked out of philanthropy, everybody knows it. If you black and philanthropy decides they don't want you around, there is no working your way back in. I don't care if it's criminal justice, restorative justice, any kind of justice. Like, if you black, you ain't. That's why a lot of white leaders know that if you set up black men, it's a good way to get them out the way. Like, if black men bring some kind of legitimacy to this game and you feel threatened as a white leader, you could just set them up. But black people do it too. I just want to be clear. It just happened to me with Gabriel Saya, a white dude. So that's why I mentioned white people doing it. But the truth is, black people do it too. Because they know once you get blacklisted, you don't get let back in. Straight up. Like, motherfucking, it's just crazy. Will Smith gonna get back to the motherfucking Academy Awards before your ass ever get back in nonprofit and in philanthropy, if they decide they don't want you around, or if they decide to drag you or drag your name or whatever. And it's fucked up. I've seen people go from working in the nonprofit space to working fucking in a mailroom at a big fucking corporation because they just can't find another job in the nonprofit space, or they find a job where they're sort of low key in a different sector of the nonprofit space. But they went from like leading some shit with, like, you know, $4 million budget helping people, to like getting dragged and suddenly not being able to raise $100,000 to build another organization or to move forward. It's fucked up. But that ain't even what I want to talk about today, actually. But since I'm on money, that's kind of what I want to talk about. I want to talk about people who build nonprofits, black people mostly. I love y'all, but I'm gonna talk some shit. Y'all know I'm talking some shit because I care about you, and somebody got to tell you the truth. And I hate to tell you after you fucking hire me, and then I got to be like, yo, your house is fucked up. So black people, they build nonprofits, and then they tell foundations that they servicing like 500 people. Like, we helped 500 young people this year. And then the foundation's like, what's your budget? And they like, our budget is $283,000.43. What? You ain't serviced that many people for that amount of money. And I know we do a lot with a little, but like, first of all, it don't make no fucking sense. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, how deep are you going with 500 people for $283,000? You ain't going deep. You ain't going deep. Or you doing some other shit where you working nights, weekends, everybody's underpaid, nobody has health care, nobody has fringe benefits, none of that shit, and you are serving large numbers of people. But here's the thing I hate about it, that foundations get to realize that if they give you a $40,000 grant, they suddenly feel like they're funding 1/6 of your budget, and they could just check a box for like, oh, you know, we gave them this $50,000 grant and they're serving 500 people. So suddenly that becomes their measure of success, because you fucking selling the whole cow before you sell the fucking milk. Like, you ain't even fucking making sure you're getting paid for the work that you're doing. You ain't making sure that your staff are stable, that they're getting paid a living wage. And I know why you're doing it. I see it all the time. And then like, y'all go to foundations and be like, we're gonna do these 9 things this year. 9 things? Like, why don't you do 3 things and do them well? You want to do 9 fucking things just because you believe that foundations be wanting to pay a little bit for a lot. I get it. But yo, no. Tell them you do 2 or 3 things. That's it. I do 2 or 3 things. So yeah, there's going to be money for other shit that you could be doing that you're not going to get. I get it. There's always a funeral on this block. Everybody fucking double parked. So yeah, you're going to leave money on the table, but so what? That's the name of the game. Like, you want your nonprofit to be narrow and specific so that people know how to fund you and they know how to support you, instead of like, we're going to do these 9 or 10 things, because you can't do 9 or 10 things well, just like you can't serve 500 people well with $283,000.64. So yeah, if you build a nonprofit, like, pick the 3 fucking things you do. Look back at your mission statement. Your mission statement can't be broad, like, yo, we gonna save the world. Fuck you, you're not gonna save the world. Nobody gonna save the world. None of us out here can't do that shit. You're not gonna save the world. Shit, like, be fucking realistic. And once you come up with that realistic mission statement, then you come up with a very realistic approach to your work. That's all I gotta say. That's it. That's my point today. And yeah, it comes from a place of fucking anger, but that don't mean I hate fucking black people running nonprofits. That just means I hate the fact that people are fucking saying that they're gonna change the world for a little bit of money. What's wrong with that kind of anger? I ain't gonna switch to love. Fuck that. I love a very small number of people. The rest of y'all, you know, I kind of like y'all. And then some of y'all I fucking hate. Some of y'all I hate. You know what I hate? I hate people who fucking act like they're leaders and smile and giggle and all this shit and re-grant your little $5,000 and $10,000 re-grants when you run in these multi-million-dollar agencies and telling these foundations that if they give you money, don't worry, you're gonna redistribute it, as opposed to everybody. Like, let's democratize the fucking funding. Like, everybody cares about democracy and shit. You know, let's democratize the fucking funding. Y'all hate capitalism, but you operate in a very capitalistic way. A small group of people run the industry and make sure that the others are squeezed out. How the fuck is that not capitalism? Yeah, I'm angry. I like being angry. I'm probably gonna be angry for the rest of my motherfucking life. But I'm not gonna let that steal my motherfucking rainbow either. I'm good. So I want y'all to be good. So I got this off my chest. I'm gonna go on my weekend. It's kind of rainy in New York, but you know what? It brought the temperature down, and that's a good thing. And I'm about to go out and chill and enjoy my weekend. Y'all should do the same thing. Peace.